Let's talk about food, folks, and its impact on our planet. Imagine a world where everyone went vegan. What would that look like? For starters, we'd breathe easier, literally. You see, livestock, especially cattle, are major methane producers. And methane? Well, it's a far more potent greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. So, a shift to plant-based diets would drastically cut those harmful emissions. But it's not just the air that it improves. Think about the land. Right now, huge amounts of land are used to raise livestock and grow their feed. Imagine reclaiming all that space. A vegan world could mean forests regrowing, natural habitats returning, and more land available to grow food for humans instead of animals. And then, there's water. Did you know animal agriculture is a water guzzler? From watering the feed crops to hydrating the animals themselves, it's an incredibly thirsty process. A vegan world? That would seriously reduce the pressure on our water supply, leaving more for people and nature. But let's flip the coin. Can a vegan world really feed everyone? You might be surprised. Meat production is wildly inefficient. Animals consume far more calories in feed than they produce in meat. Switching to plant-based diets would free up a massive amount of land and resources currently used for livestock, which could then be redirected to growing food for people. That could be a game changer in the fight against world hunger. Millions are malnourished in areas where resources are already stretched thin. By making food production more efficient, we could significantly boost global food security. Can a vegan world really feed everyone? You might be surprised. Meat production is wildly inefficient. Animals consume far more calories in feed than they produce in meat. Switching to plant-based diets would free up a massive amount of land and resources currently used for livestock, which could then be redirected to growing food for people. That could be a game changer in the fight against world hunger. Millions are malnourished in areas where resources are already stretched thin. By making food production more efficient, we could significantly boost global food security. Shifting to plant-based diets would free up vast amounts of land and resources currently used for animal agriculture. These resources could then be redirected to growing food directly for human consumption, potentially increasing our global food production capacity. This could be a game changer in the fight against world hunger. Millions suffer from malnutrition and food insecurity, often in regions where resources are already stretched thin. By producing food more efficiently, we could make significant strides in addressing this global crisis. A vegan world offers a real opportunity to create a more just and equitable food system, ensuring everyone has access to nutritious and affordable meals. That could mean subsidies for growing high-demand crops, training in new techniques, and assistance accessing new markets. But there's a silver lining. This shift would also spark a boom in new industries. The demand for plant-based alternatives to meat, dairy, and eggs would skyrocket. Entrepreneurs and businesses would have a field day developing innovative new products. From lab-grown meat to cutting-edge plant-based proteins, the possibilities are endless. This one's close to my heart. One of the biggest arguments for veganism is animal welfare. Factory farming, with its cramped, inhumane conditions, raises serious ethical questions about how we treat animals. A vegan world would eliminate the need for such systems, sparing billions of animals from a life of suffering. Beyond that, there's biodiversity to think about. Animal agriculture is one of the leading causes of habitat destruction. Forests are cleared to create grazing land and grow animal feed, which threatens countless species with extinction. A vegan world? That could reverse this trend, allowing us to restore ecosystems and protect endangered species. There are some real logistical challenges. We'd need to overhaul our agricultural systems to produce a wide variety of plant-based foods in large enough quantities. That means serious investment in infrastructure, research, and technology. And then, there's the issue of monoculture farming. Relying too heavily on a few key crops could leave us vulnerable to pests, diseases, and climate change. A vegan world would have to prioritize biodiversity, promoting a range of crops to ensure a resilient and sustainable food system. It's complicated. A global shift to veganism has undeniable environmental benefits. It could help combat climate change, conserve precious resources, and protect biodiversity. It also presents a real opportunity to create a more just and equitable food system, one that tackles world hunger and improves access to nutritious food for everyone. But such a massive change comes with its own set of challenges. We'd need to manage economic disruptions, support farmers through the transition, and address the logistical hurdles of feeding the world on a plant-based diet. And we can't forget the risks of monoculture farming. Sustainability and biodiversity have to be at the forefront. In the end, maybe the goal isn't a completely vegan world. Maybe it's a world where plant-based diets are the norm, where meat consumption is drastically reduced, and where ethical, sustainable, and compassionate food choices lead the way. Now that's a future worth striving for, don't you think?